The topic is simplifying expressions using fundamental identities. So let's do the first example. Simplify the expression sine squared x over cosine plus cosine. So let's first rewrite it. Sine squared of x over cosine plus cosine of x. Cosine of x is the same thing as cosine of x over 1. So we're trying to simplify this. We can't use anything yet. We can't use any formulas, any identities. The definition is right here. So what we do, like always, every time you got two fractions, sum of two fractions, you try to add them up by using the least common denominator. The common denominator between cosine and 1 is cosine, so I'm going to multiply cosine, the bottom, and cosine, the top, or numerator and the denominator. Now this is going to be equal to, so sine squared over cosine plus cosine times cosine is cosine squared. 1 times cosine is cosine. Now that we have the same denominator, we can just add the numerators. So the top will be sine squared plus cosine squared over cosine. Now we can use, see, when you see sine squared plus cosine squared, you can use this identity number 5. So we could replace the top by 1. Sine squared plus cosine squared is 1 over cosine. And then 1 over cosine, if you look around from 1 to 7, you're going to find 1, which is right here, number 3. 1 over cosine is just secant. So this is what we got. Now let's do the next example. Next example, there's two ways of doing this. There's a quick way and there's a normal way. The quick way, you have to notice that 1 over sine squared, let me rewrite it here. 1 over sine squared, you should notice 1 over sine squared is the same thing as 1 over sine everything squared. Now we can use the fact that 1 over sine, right here number 4, 1 over sine is just cosecant. So we replace 1 over sine by cosecant. But remember, cosecant squared minus 1. Now we can use number 7. See, if you look at number 7, cotangent square is equal cosecant square minus 1. So cosecant square minus 1 is just cotangent square. So this is the quickest and the right way to do it. Now, however, if you didn't see this, if you didn't see that you can use number 7, just do it this way. So let me show you another way of doing it. 1 over sine squared minus 1. Since these are fractions, also try to rewrite it as one fraction. The common denominator is sine squared. So multiply by sine squared. Sine squared. So this is going to be 1 minus sine squared, and the least common denominator is sine squared. Now, if you look at number 5, 1 minus sine squared is just cosine squared. Just subtract sine squared from both sides. So 1 minus sine squared is cosine squared. Now, since we have a square on both sides, we could use algebra and just write cosine over sine, everything squared, which is just cotangent square. So there's more than one way to do the same problem. And that's it for this example.